Theme is peace through strength. How can foreign policy promote or degrade national defense? So I took a look to really get an understanding of what foreign policy is. And it relates to consists of self-interest strategies chosen by the state to safeguard its national interests and to achieve the goals within the international relations milieu. First and foremost, this provocative question about how can foreign policy promote or degrade national defense begs the question, or suggests at least, that there is some kind of foreign policy. This is kind of either philosophical or political in nature as to whether we have or don't have a foreign policy. But the important aspect of national defense as it relates to foreign policy and the more proper theme of peace through strength, one of the most critical components of defense and defense of our nation is to convince the opposition that they should never try. If you look weak, you look like they can overtake you, somebody will. If you look like the 100-pound gorilla and act like the 100-pound gorilla and grunt like the 100-pound gorilla, chances are the 200-pound guy is not going to take you on. Historically, we have been excellent at that. We were the first nation to create and come up with the nuclear weapons and, in fact, use them. That was an incredible example of peace through strength because the opposition put down their guns very quickly, said, I think we've had enough. So I talked last time about Ronald Reagan in the early 1980s, mid-1980s, when Libya was taking on the European theater and creating all sorts of havoc as terrorists. They had a number of terrorist events that were unchallenged. They started getting a little bit pushy with the U.S. The U.S. brought a fleet into the Mediterranean. We declared that there was a 12-mile limit around Libya, and Libya said, no, you don't have it, that 12-mile limit. We get the entire sea and get your ships out of there. So Libya started being a little bit more aggressive. They flew around with their brand new MiG-23s and buzzed some of our ships and things of that nature. Also took on some surface-to-air missiles and started looking like they were very powerful. April the 5th, 1986, a group of Libyan terrorists bombed a bar in Germany. 9 days later, 14 U.S. F-111s and 4 electronic countermeasure F-111s went over Libya, dropped over 60 ton of ordnance very quickly, including on the presidential palace. The result of that, roughly 23 years of peace with Libya. They got the message. They got the message very quickly when one of Muammar Gaddafi's children was injured by some of the ordnance exploding. So we have an example of peace through strength that really works. And then we step back and we look at people that come over and they draw a line in the sand and they say, don't cross that line or you're really going to be in trouble. And then they draw another line in the sand and they say, don't cross that line because I really mean it this time. And then they draw another line in the sand, say, boy, this is it. That's it. That's the red line. If you cross that red line, you're a deep yogurt. I'm not going to take it anymore, and I'm serious. And we draw this other line, and pretty soon we're stuck in a corner and we don't have a way out. That's exactly what's happening today. There is no respect whatsoever for the United States in any country. The Russians are doing what they please. Europeans are afraid to do anything. The Americans are afraid to do anything. Russia just keeps biting away at the apple, and they're going to take everything they want. Peace through strength. It's going to have to be our second line of defense because we can no longer be the giant gorilla. We can't, nobody believes that. So today we're going to have some speeches. And let's see what we get from that. First speech, Dave Walden.